This is the Mail Washer Email Spam Marketing Recommendations by Emily Fernley in the Full Sail Online Internet and the Law class. So what we'll talk about today is what is Mail Washer, who's the target audience, what is spam, what are the pros and cons of spam, about the CAN-SPAM Act, talking about spam and the First Amendment, criminal liability, and then our recommendations with a sample email. So what is Mail Washer? Mail Washer is the award-winning, reliable, free spam blocker, the leader in spam filter software and the easiest way to check and manage your emails before you download them to your computer. Mail Washer is free to use and won't ever expire. Our target audience is online email users who are prone to spam emails and who have had or often get viruses from spam emails. And spam is the use of electronic messaging systems to push out the unsolicited messages in bulk. The most common form of spam is email, but spam can also be through other methods like social networks or mobile devices. So what are the pros and cons? Every marketing tactic has both, so we'll talk about each. The major pros of spam email marketing are wide audience reach, relatively quick and simple implementation, and low cost because there's no postage required. The cons, however, there's no guarantee that emails will be opened or read. Spam emails can be blocked by software and programs like Mail Washer. And users can opt out of future email messages. And lastly, strict rules and regulations apply. So what's the CAN-SPAM Act? This act was passed in 2003 in order to protect online consumers from unsolicited email messages. CAN-SPAM stands for Controlling the Assault of Non-Solicited Pornography in Marketing. This act lays out a series of rules for businesses to follow when utilizing spam as part of their marketing strategies. The regulations are thorough and detailed, so legal penalty can easily be avoided. The 7 components include no false or misleading header information, so make sure all the to and from details are accurately identifying the sender. No deceptive subject lines. The subject line should always reflect accurately the content of the email. Identify the message as an ad. This message should clearly state that this is an advertisement. The current physical address should be included, and it should be a valid and current postal address. This could be a street address, P.O. box, or private mailbox as long as it falls within the U.S. Postal Service limitations. The opt-out option must be provided, and it should be clearly stated on how the recipient can opt out from future emails. The opt-out request should be honored promptly and within 10 days. Opt-out requests also must be no more than replying to a single email or visiting a single web page. After opting out, recipient information cannot be sold or transferred unless it's within the compliance of the CAN-SPAM Act. And lastly, we monitor any third parties used in the campaign because whatever company sponsors the message and the senders are both legally responsible for following all regulations of the CAN-SPAM Act. So spam and the First Amendment. One big question that comes to mind with spam is whether or not spam should be protected by the First Amendment, delegating spam advertisements as free speech. Because the First Amendment is pretty vague, there is room for interpretation. So as long as all spam messages follow the rules and regulations of the CAN-SPAM Act, they are protected under the First Amendment as free speech. With all of these guidelines set up by the CAN-SPAM Act, it's also important to understand the repercussions of not complying with these laws. Each violation is finable with a $16,000 fee. In the cases where spam involves email hacking, those responsible can be punished with a misdemeanor as a virtual form of breaking and entering. The criminal liability section of the CAN-SPAM Act has been challenged twice in recent years, and both times the regulations were upheld. Again, these laws support that criminal and legal liability is accurate when it comes to hacking. Okay, so let's get to the recommendations. With all of that said, email spam is our recommended marketing strategy to reach the target audience because email can be retrieved from desktop, laptop, and mobile or tablet devices, reaching audience members on all devices that integrate email messaging. Email is also the preferred spam method because it is less invasive than some other types of spam. Email users are able to check email at their own time and by their own choice. All recommended email spam strategies are expected to follow the regulations of the CAN-SPAM Act to make sure that we are within legal, ethical, and strategic points. This spam emailing tactic will target email addresses that have opted into lists related to email software, tools, programs, and other technologies. This will ensure that recipients are getting a message that is somewhat related to their interests. The goal of the campaign is to get the recipients to download Mailwasher to protect their email from spam messages in the future. The email content will talk about how spam messages could be avoided moving forward if the reader would simply download the free Mailwasher software to filter their emails. With a list size of 5,000 email addresses and an average open rate of 32.6% according to MailChimp, for software-related emails, we can expect to see about 1,630 people to open the email message. Of the opens, a 3% conversion rate is likely, leading to just about 50 downloads. At a cost of $1 per send, this would result in a cost per download of about $100. This is a sample email for the proposed campaign. The advertising agency will create the visual components to this email strategy. This email campaign complies with all CAN-SPAM Act guidelines as you see through the following points. The to and from information accurately represents the sender information. The subject line indicates what the email content is about and is not deceptive. The message identifies itself as an advertisement. The physical address and phone number of the sender are provided, and an opt-out option is clearly described at the bottom of the email. And with that, I will open it up to questions, and if there are none, I thank you so much for your time, and our references are as follows. Thank you.